In this presentation, we'll introduce the dialogue model. This model enhances connection, agreement and cooperation between patients and professionals. The dialogue model is an evidence-based, universal, usable method to deal with multiple complex health problems. The same format can be used whatever problems, assessment procedures, environmental complexity and disciplines are involved. Patients or clients are easily getting acquainted with the dialogue model principles. The use of it stimulates their active participation and helps to match treatment to their preferences, values, needs, and strengths. The dialogue model has been developed and studied in youth mental health care in the Netherlands. Currently, it's being used in several other healthcare settings as well, including general practices and hospitals in the Netherlands and Belgium. A dialogical approach, use of plain language, and a visualization aid characterize the method. How the dialogue model can help in a shared search for health and recovery, we will show you now. It feels very rewarding when all involved can understand what is going on, can share in decision-making, and can contribute to the care needed. Using the dialogue model, you are not only complaint-oriented. Especially personal and contextual aspects matter to you in understanding what brings someone to you for help. In most complex cases, exploring complaints in a functional way isn't enough. You want to understand what the impact of the illness is on someone's daily life. What's the struggle? What actual but also what emotional pain does it bring to the patient and near ones? How do the complaints influence the daily functioning and interaction? These aspects you want to clarify together with patients and their near ones. And so we can make shared plans to do whatever is needed and possible. As said, the dialogue model is an aid for patients and professionals to connect and to cooperate actively in case of complex health issues, symbolized by this crowded picture, in which a lot is happening in relation to illness, health, and daily life. The dialogue model offers the following: a for everyone involved understandable frame of mind, a dialogical way of speaking in plain language that stimulates participation of all, and a visualization aid for all evaluation and decision moments. This picture simplifies the complex personal situation. It enhances a clear overview and supports the communication, alignment, and cooperation. Using the dialogue model, you have eye and ear for person and context. This all helps in shared understanding, shared decision-making, and shared care. More information concerning these 3 steps, which are typical for complex care, are given in the first presentation of this series. You can find the link to this presentation at the end of this video. The central idea of the dialogue model is simple. Still, all common professional theories and personal opinions on human behavior and development are being covered by it. How someone is doing is associated with the continuous interaction between this person and his environment, and with how it goes on a physical, relational, emotional, and cognitive personal level. Are these aspects balanced enough, and is there enough coherence between them? During the whole care process, we assess to what degree balance and coherence exist within a person and interaction with others, and what is lacking in this sense. We consider illness, a disorder or disablement, as a state of disturbed balance and/or coherence for too long and too serious to fix it on your own or to cope with it sufficiently. If that's the case, people search professional help for these kinds of dysregulation. Together with patients and their relatives, we explore the situation to see what they themselves and we as professionals can contribute to regain enough balance and coherence again, or to deal with this dysregulation in a bearable way. We visualize our findings in an integrated overview together with them. We especially emphasize helping aspects, such as qualities, strengths, skills, resilience, and so on. The last years, more attention to positive health is given, and this has always been a structural part of the dialogue model for over 15 years. This is the way we approach the situation, instead of only focusing on the so-called devilish Ds, such as diseases, disorders, disabilities, and so on. This overall overview, with all helping and hindering aspects, supports the shared understanding, shared decision-making, and the shared care process. If people look into complicated problems at first, everybody has his own view upon what is the matter. In other words, everyone looks through his own glasses. You can assume that initially there will be differences between several views and not everything can be overseen at once. Your own professional view will also be limited at the start. If you begin an open dialogue and all join in this encounter, then everyone will develop a broader and sharper look upon what is going on. First of all, by listening, looking and asking questions carefully, but also by verbalizing your own ideas, observations, and hypotheses. Reflecting upon what touches you helps as well. Apart from facts, the subjective experiences, the attribution of meaning enriches our view upon complex situations. In the same way, the patient gets a clearer look, and so to speak, everybody is more aware of the lenses he is looking through. Using this metaphor, you can consider the dialogue model framework as a universal frame that fits all lenses. Looking through these dialogue model glasses, you will see the coherence, overlap, and differences between the several views of all participants. These glasses deliver an integrated overall overview, and this is value-free, yet valuable to those who are involved, and it can help to establish shared decisions and a shared treatment plan. Putting on each other's glasses won't help. It produces merely a more blurred vision. And that's not our goal, nor necessary. Patients don't have to become a professional, and we will never know every personal detail or total background of our patients. Moreover, it's important to realize that views always be subjective and incomplete, and that no one can claim to see the ultimate truth. We mention, without being comprehensive, some perspectives that color patients' and professionals' lenses. In patients, for instance, personal expectations, own knowledge of illness and health heard from others or found online, needs and demands, norms and values, human concepts, all kinds of opinions, personal preferences, especially concerning the care needed. Someone beliefs, religion, and cultural background, and life experience up till now. Professional lenses will be colored, among others, by professional models, theoretical frameworks, standards and guidelines, professional codes, hands-on experiences, laws, and care ethics. Besides these professional perspectives, personal perspectives play a role for professionals as well, because we can't and of course mustn't switch off our human compassion and values in our professional encounters. As professionals, we are educated to offer assessment and treatment according to standards and guidelines. If we deal with well-defined specific disorders, this often is sufficient and supportive. If we are confronted with less clear, multiple, and often chronic health problems, this approach falls short. It delivers too less guidance and a too narrow view. Working according to the dialogue model, you focus upon your relationship with those who seek for help. A good working alliance is essential for effective and efficient care. Ear and eye for personal narratives, contextual aspects, and specific interest in the meaning of the complaints to them are key ingredients of the dialogue model. And also, what preferences, values, needs they have that have to be met. Which of their personal goals of life they still manage to establish and which ones are seriously under pressure or not possible anymore. This personalized and contextual approach helps to match professional care with the unique personal situation and to assess what everyone involved, patient and dear ones as well, can contribute to the care needed. You examine the current situation and relevant life events as well. Together you combine all visions to a shared narrative that gives hope and confidence and invites everyone to get on with it. During the assessment, you try to clarify which help someone really wants for himself. Often at first, only wishes or needs are mentioned. Next of kin can demonstrate quite different wishes, as the patient himself does. It needs more dialogue to clarify what kind of personal request for professional help lies underneath several expectations. What do they sincerely want to change? What personal effort is possible to achieve these changes? It is necessary to examine precisely who sees himself or others as problem owner and who is expected to be one of the possible problem solvers. For instance, you alone as a professional. Your influence can be decisive, but often also limited. What someone shows can be read totally different than was intended. Misinterpretation happens easily. To talk open-minded about these phenomena mentioned will clarify the roles, positions, and intentions everybody aims, and most important, whether you can reach agreement upon all this or not. An open dialogue concerning these topics helps to get aside each other and yields more authentic and usable information. To summarize, the dialogue model helps to work together well balanced and side by side. Also to suppress what we call our instant helping reflex. To give others more space and opportunity to act. To promote autonomy, connection and empowerment, 3 basic psychological human needs. To work more personal and contextual oriented. Pay active attention to qualities and capacities. Broadens our view, helps defining specific care aims, and stimulates creative solutions. It offers more freedom to thoughts and actions. It helps developing shared opinions. It also generates hope and trust, which encourage patients to go for it. Finding out together what's going wrong and right and what is needed isn't just a matter of exchanging information and facts. Relational, emotional, physical, including non-verbal communication, and contextual aspects have to be given attention as well. The use of empathy, compassion, well-dosed humor, and creativity characterize the dialogue model method. We use a picture as a graphic interface, especially if evaluation and decision-making is wanted. Visualization activates another information processing system as language does. Language helps in exploring, analyzing. Images help to establish coherence and overview. They also stimulate our creativity. We imprint information better and can memorize it easier. And if the information is complex and emotional loaded, it can be processed more adequately. The saying, "A picture's worth 1,000 words," speaks for itself. In daily life, we use pictures all the time, for instance, using icons, in navigation, manuals, and emoticons, and also in this presentation. Here you can notice how creating the dialogue model overview moves all kinds of aspects. You introduce a new element in the room and together you focus on the picture and try, so to say, to fit the puzzle pieces together until they fall in place as far as possible. Using the whiteboard, you don't stand constantly aside it as if you were a teacher. Now and then you will write something down. You get seated again, continue your dialogue, point at what's drawn already, etc. If the conversation leads to a better description, you replace earlier words used until the whole picture does justice to their unique personal situation. In other words, you illustrate what is mutually exchanged in dialogue. It is the art to restrict the words to the essence. Too many words on the board make it unclear. Patients and others overview their situation from a distance and mostly they are touched by it. It leads to recognition and validation, sometimes painful and confronting, but always supporting and constructive. In a normal conversation, words will vanish and can be forgotten or remembered falsely. The dialogue model picture has a biological, psychological, social structure. This integrated framework is still used a lot in medicine. The picture is kept simple, so everybody can draw it. Nevertheless, it gives space to all personal, contextual and interactional aspects of somebody's situation with others, including care providers. It helps to make an inclusive overview of someone's situation and helps to get insight in how continuous person-environment interaction plays a role in how people feel and to which degree they can organize their daily life, including their health condition. We will show all elements of this picture one by one. Normally, we build the picture step by step together with patients and their next of kin if present. If you are interested, you can also watch 2 other presentations which give examples of how this works. Links are given at the end of this video. The puppet represents the patient, and normally we start to write down in behavioral terms the reason for asking help. How it makes them get bogged down, what hinders them. Later on we complete this part with other, also helping behavioral terms. We use keywords to catch the core of the information given. In other words, we search for the flag that covers the load. See some examples. We draw an arrow towards the environment. How do others behave, act and react? Dear ones, colleagues, friends, and also care providers like us. Again, some examples. A bit to the left, we'll put important influences. Live events that still count and actual influences from others. The circle symbolizes the systemic approach. Behavior cannot be judged isolated. It needs to be seen in relation to others to understand the meaning of it. We look into essential patterns of interaction which can be helping or hindering. People often feel themselves caught in these circles or experience them as downward spirals. Behavior is what we actually see. We call it someone's outside. Now we'll outline the personal aspects. We call it the inside of someone. What goes on in someone's mind and body, partly aware, partly unaware. The sequence in which these aspects are brought up depends on the course of the conversation, sometimes spontaneously, sometimes well determined. For now, we begin with the physical aspects, physical functioning, genetic predisposition, etc. Here's some examples. The character R concerns all relational aspects and abilities, especially the personal way of relationship with others and ourselves. The relational development is crucial for the whole personality development. Think of aspects as attachment, basic trust, empathy, etc. Relational is about someone's inside. On the outside, this is expressed in more or less social behavior. If you can read the patient's relational style As a professional, it is easier to attune to him. Here you see some relational keywords. The E stands for all feelings and the state of mind, someone's mood. Here some helping and hindering examples. The cognitive and language abilities we call in plain words thoughts. In case of complex care issues, patients often have a lot of hindering thoughts, worries, etc. It's truly worthwhile to search for helping thoughts. Also, taking into account someone's intelligence level is necessary. For less gifted people, especially pictures are very helping. Again, see some examples. We connect these four aspects with little lines and small characters B and U in the middle, standing for balance and unity. To understand ourselves, we differentiate between physical, emotional, relational, and cognitive aspects, but in fact, we are all these aspects together at one and the same time. The more balance and unity we experience, the better we can deal with several circumstances in a flexible way. Using this more or less united balance, we define all integrative personal characteristics such as self-image, identity, aspirations, preferences, and values. What someone wants and where he is able to determines largely what kind of care goals can be defined and which treatment aims we can agree upon. See some examples. Taking all this into account, we speak of someone's personal profile. In the Dutch version, the characters form an acronym for regulation and organization. In the English version, this is not the case. This mnemonic device helps to remind us that our self-organization and self-regulation possibilities depend on our physical, emotional, relational and cognitive abilities and the way they are in balance, united or not. If we have good insight in someone's personal profile and the person himself and important others as well, it helps us to determine together what kind of help is needed to regain more balance and unity again. But we cannot organize everything as professionals. People in great distress and need often hope so. It's almost a social and cultural expectation or demand that everything can be fixed. But we as professionals can't fix everything. Sometimes our help can be decisive. Sometimes only modest results are possible. We want to enlarge the coping of patients and their next of kin, to relieve their complaints as much as possible and to improve their quality of life, and to stimulate them to participate in this process. The more you accept the exclusive expert role, the less active your patients will turn out to be. But they have a lot of personal expertise too, which is vital in finding a way out of their misery. Often they aren't aware of it at all and need some invitation to contribute to the shared understanding, decision-making and care process. By the way, knowing your own personal profile as a professional helps to attune to the patient's profile. Are you mainly a thinker, a doer, or maybe both? Are you a team player or more a solo performer, more a leader or more a follower, impulsive or more thoughtful. If you can shift between different styles, or if your team knows some diversity, it is easier to find the right connection with patients and their next of kin. You can use the picture if the patient has told his own story in a suitable way, and if you have a good enough impression yourself. Then you will co-create a shared narrative, an overview. Especially at a counseling feedback session, but also with every evaluation or step aside moment. For instance, if new important developments have to be discussed or if stagnation of the care process is the case. The picture can also be used at a team meeting to match several views and to make clear what everybody can contribute to the care wanted. If the picture gets meaningful to the patient and his beloved ones, it will function as a powerful interface, as a catalyst to the care process. People always want to make photos of it, and when you save it in their medical file, you can use it again the following evaluation moment to see if anything has changed over the last period and what that means for the care given and for everybody's contribution the coming episode. Now let's pay some more attention to the dialogue model language. We speak the words our patients are familiar with. We use value-free yet valuable, meaningful words and focus also upon where they still can deal with. We try to identify in what way they are out of control, but also which possibilities they still possess. We speak of helping and hindering elements, balance, and their inner firmness and what they need in this respect. These are the terms people use themselves as well in daily life. We offer them all opportunity to tell their personal narratives, alongside our own professional narrative emerges. We co-create a new, shared, hope and trustful story. This process sets all kinds of things, thoughts, behavior, and so on, in motion. We visualize the essence, and the combination of careful chosen words brought together in a meaningful picture functions as a motivating, helping mirror, and in many respects as an eye-opener. It is a delicate process to choose the right words to co-create a new and more hopeful narrative with the patient and other important persons involved. Words can heal, words can harm. The dialogue model can be used during the whole care process. It helps to coordinate and to clarify the referral, to organize the information needed and to make specific arrangements. At the start of the assessment phase, it promotes mutual connection, the clarification of the patient's needs and informed consent. It empowers patients and others involved and is beneficial in developing a positive working alliance. You make a jump start if patients experience that you have already delved into their situation, so they don't have to repeat again all kind of information earlier mentioned. Then the shared decision-making moment will follow with all these elements mentioned here and earlier in this presentation. This is also the moment the picture will be used for the first time. circular steps of shared understanding, shared decision-making, followed by shared care will repeat itself during the whole treatment phase. When the care process can be completed, or if the care is being transferred to other professionals, the dialogue model overview can be used to look back and forward in a balanced and constructive way. We've come to the end of this presentation. You will find more information about the dialogue model at our website, some downloads such as an information organizer and references. Most our papers and books are written in Dutch. The summary of the thesis and the RCT paper are available in English, as is an English manual of the use of the dialogue model in mental health care. Also, shared decision-making information for patients or clients is available on our website. You can reach us by our Dutch email address if you have further interest or any other questions. If you want to have more information about the dialogue model and its application by video, you can click on one of the following presentations. The first one is a general introduction of shared decision-making in complex care and stresses the importance of a personal and contextual approach. The other two give you an impression of how the dialogue model can be used in medical practice and in mental health care. Thank you for your kind attention.